Yo, welcome back to the second. Listen. We haven't done this shit since what, November? Since November, like, we got to be more active on this shit. It's hard to, like, find the right times to do it and also, like, the topics to talk about. There is a lot of news, but, like, in between weeks and stuff, sometimes it's just dry. But we finna try to, we're on the grind, okay? We're going to try to bring at least, like, twice a month, at least twice a month. Hopefully. But today we've got three interesting topics. One big one, but the other two kind of out there. But before we start, just want to let y'all know, subscribing and liking is free. It's free. And we might be rebranding this channel to Double Feature. I don't know yet. I think personally it makes more sense. Double Features got the whole movie theme, and I think 𝙎𝙬𝙎 cinema, while like cinema, is the whole movie thing, 𝙎𝙬 don't capture that. And also, this has become a collaboration. This has become a collaboration channel as well. But yeah, guys, like I said, like and subscribe. It's free, but make sure you click that bell. Go ahead, go down to the bottom, visit the Patreon and stuff. And maybe I'll start uploading these like full length on Patreon first. Depending on how many members start to join there. Once it gets, pretty stacked, we'll probably make these exclusive and then release the YouTube versions. But you guys tell us in the comments below how you are doing. And with these topics that we are about to talk about, give us your opinions on said topics. Our socials are, our handles, or at least, are right below us. So you could definitely check us out over there on Instagram, Twitter, and for me, I got a TikTok. It's not this, though. It's like this with an underscore because my TikTok got banned. But we're going to go ahead and get into this first topic because I'm pretty interested in it. And it is a new trailer that released. There was a bunch of TV spots and trailers during the Super Bowl. I know Transformers got one, and like Little Mermaid was supposed to, but then it came out a day later. But one of the big trailers, and I think it was the biggest that day, was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They had the most viewed trailer. It was a new trailer where we got a little more high evolutionary, more of the team, more scenes, a little bit more. And I personally liked that it wasn't showing like too much, because one thing I hate, which we'll talk about later about this movie, but Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, was they just showed everything in the trailer, man. They showed everything. But we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kick it off to you. What were your first initial thoughts on this new trailer that they released for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't like a insane reaction because a lot of the trailer was a lot of the footage that we saw from the first trailer or the first teaser or whatever. First teaser, was that a teaser?
It was an official trailer.
Oh, okay, yeah. A lot of it was just footage from the official trailer. Like with some it was like, it basically felt like the same trailer to me as the first trailer, but for replacement of the Drax hitting a little girl in the head with a ball scene, they replaced it with that Nebula and funny like Gamora scene. That's kind of how, like, it didn't have like, I wasn't like more hyped because I'm already hyped like enough. Like I can't like, I don't know how it would have made me more hyped. Like I don't. But I mean, yeah, the trailer itself, it was a pretty good trailer. That first trailer is better. Let's just be honest here. Like the first trailer was just a banger.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for that.
Yeah, that shit was a banger. Cultural reset for sure. But nah. I mean, it looks cool. In my opinion, the Nebula thing, something about that felt so weird for some reason. Something about Nebula's look felt so weird.
I mean, she looks.
I don't know if it's. I feel like I could see her makeup more. I could tell it's makeup more.
I mean,
or am I tripping? I might be tripping. No, I might be tripping. But for me, I was like, why does her makeup look like not as sharp? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I do think
that's a nitpick.
Sped up the process and stuff a little bit.
That's a nitpick though, because it's always still looked like makeup. It just looks like makeup more. Like, and so that's just a little nitpick. But I mean, yeah, all in all, the trailer was cool. It was whatever. Why is Fire James Gunn and Peter Safran trending on Twitter right now? What the
All right, that's good to hear. As for my thoughts, I thought the trailer was a more lighthearted trailer than that first one.
Yeah.
And I think obviously that's because there's a lot more viewers on the Super Bowl. You know, kids are watching, families and stuff. So they can't be so grim. And also, they want to show audiences that, we're still keeping this. The Guardians are known for having that comedic element. And whether it's good or bad on how you think, that's influenced other comic book movies moving forward. I think it's a staple of that franchise. So I'm looking forward to that movie. It's still my most anticipated movie of the year. That and Across Spider-Verse are tied, but obviously Guardians is coming out first. But yeah, it looks good. It looks heavy with emotions. We got like new shots of what's his name, High Evolutionary, and like
got some new shots of Adam Warlock in there too.
Yeah,
got that Black Adam like shot.
Exactly.
Fucking some fire.
Some fire meme content. Can't wait
cooking.
till the screenshots come out in the cinemas for that. With do you own an air fryer? I don't know, but I thought the trailer itself was great. I think the things that make all the Guardians trailers so fire to me, whether they're cut like amazingly or not, the music. The music is always so great in their trailers, and I'm pretty sure every song that's in these trailers will be used in the movie. But I just wanted to talk about that.
They sound like some songs that would definitely be used in the movie.
Oh yeah, they've got some heavy symbolism in those lyrics. But we're gonna move on to the next topic. So these first two topics are really quick because the last topic is gonna be pretty lengthy. But this second topic is another trailer appeared at the Super Bowl that a lot of people were excited for, including myself. And it was a big lead up to this. The last trailer we got, or the teaser of this, was like over a year ago at DC Fandom. It was a long time ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're right.
So like a lot of people were really anticipating this with all the stuff people were saying.
They dropped some shit at DC Fandom.
Yeah. And then everyone's saying, the test screenings being outstandingly positive and people saying it's one of the best DC movies and stuff. It is The Flash. The Flash official trailer released pretty recently at the time of this recording. Appeared at the Super Bowl. What were your thoughts on the Flash trailer?
It appeared before the Super Bowl, so they didn't pay enough to get it in halftime or whatever, but they were like, hey, all these people are probably waiting for a Flash trailer leading up to the Super Bowl. What I thought about it, I thought personally, well, let's get this out the way. The Super Bowl was 100% better than the Flash trailer. Like, let's just be real. The Super Bowl was way fucking better. Patrick Mahomes on a fucking broken ankle. That nigga was going crazy. Like, let's keep it stacked. But the trailer itself, shit didn't sway me. Shit look, it looks fairly mid. I will say, I didn't like think Andy Muschietti would have like a good eye for like shots, but he actually does have a decent eye for like nice shots and nice visuals and shit. But I mean that's about where the pros go, that's about where it ends for me. The shit is just like using the nostalgia as a marketing ploy. I don't fuck with it. It's like, yes, we're excited to see these people, but like I feel like that's gonna take away from some of those moments. Like when Kara breaks out of prison or whatever happens, like I feel like it's gonna be like it's not gonna be as shocking as you saw her literally shoot lasers out her eyes and fucking punch a guy into fucking heaven. Like, so I don't know. That was kind of off to me because I mean, let's be honest here. This movie's trying to be the No Way Home of DC. Like, let's be honest here. Let's bring back these heroes.
It's pretty Flashpoint.
This little
though.
Timeline.
It's still
thing.
pretty
Like,
Flashpoint.
It's gonna be like, yeah. Obviously, it's Flashpoint, but like, it's very similar to No Way Home in terms of the story being told. Like, fix this spell, fix this timeline. It's very similar. So the thing about No Way Home was that obviously going into it, some people like me and you, like, let's be real, like we was like, nigga, my nipples are hard because I'm about to go see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Like once I see this, I could die in peace. Like, let's be real.
I will say though, even though like we were pretty confident in knowing that
there was still a chance.
There was like is it? Are they though? Like, are they? And then when you see them, it's like, oh, when you see Andrew, you're like, come in, Toby, where you at? Like once you saw Andrew, you just
niggas doing backflips in the theater and shit. Like, it's that real. But the thing is, they didn't use that as a marketing tactic. So once you saw Andrew and Toby, and like they even showed Green Goblin in some trailers, but like once you really saw him like unmasked, like they just showed him with a mask on, like you don't even know if that's really Willem Dafoe. You don't know, like they didn't use it as a marketing play, and I feel like that's what made those moments so much better. Was you didn't expect it. You didn't expect Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield working together with Tom Holland like in a laboratory and shit. Like you don't expect shit like that. So I feel like this movie is just like spoiling all of that, which is I feel like it's gonna take away from some of that aspect unless like fucking Christopher Reeve Superman comes down CGI like deepfake like it's just, but I know it's not gonna happen. It's probably gonna be like what was given to us, like what was given to us in the trailer. So like I feel like number one they showed a good bit, but
they did
that
not as much as Fast X, but they did.
It's gonna take away from some of the movie, and then it makes me feel like that's what they're banking on, and that's what I don't like. It makes me feel like they have to market the nostalgia because there ain't shit else very good in this movie.
Really?
Like, yeah, that's what it makes me feel like. And from what I saw, like, it did not sway me. Like, I mean, there was obviously it's like the regular Flashpoint story, like go back, try to save his mom and shit. But like the whole thing with like the multiple Ezra Millers, like it's like okay, and then like Bat Keaton is like fuck with him as Batman, but like really, nigga, like I feel like again they very well could go see the movie and Christian Bale pops up. I highly fucking doubt he would pop up in this shit, but that very well could happen. But Keaton to me, like I'm not that generation, so I can't speak on that. Like I didn't grow up with Keaton Batman, like so I'm not like super swayed by Keaton Batman. Like it's dope, cool, classic as Batman, like that's dope to see. But it's not like growing up with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, like all Spider-Man toys of Tobey Maguire. Like it's not, it don't hit like that. So it's like cool, and then you see Kara, and it's like she punching niggas, and it looks like fucking two flubbers fucking. Like, bro, it just looks like hella CGI and shit. Nah, I can't even buy into it because the shit don't even look fucking half good. Like, this shit looks like ass. It looks like a bunch of gloop glop. Like,
I mean, you're talking about the last shot specifically, right?
No, I'm talking about a lot of shots in the trailer look goofy as hell. And don't get me started on Ezra Miller's fucking outfit. His fucking suit.
Their suit.
What were they cooking back there? Because what the fuck is that? Like, big
the
ass
suit is the suit's growing on me a little bit. It is. I don't like the cowl, but the actual suit, the actual like body, the suit is growing on me. It very much.
Nah, fam. They gave this nigga a fucking biker helm. They gave that nigga a goddamn turtle shell. His shit fat as hell.
We got a tight
I think
suit,
they're like replacing his neck and shit.
Yeah,
so his head always look like it's floating as fuck. Like
so he always built like
a fucking. He always built like a fucking action figure, dog. Like what the fuck? Like a Hot Toys figure and shit, bro.
What would you rate this trailer out of 10?
Out of 10, I would rate it like a 6.
A 6?
No. Yeah.
What's like a 10 for you? What's a 10 trailer?
10 trailer for me. Honestly, like Watchmen trailer. Honestly, like the what else? Like the Civil War trailer. Shit was fire as fuck. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like I wasn't very swayed. Like it's cool to see the visual sequences of the Flash being the Flash, but when it doesn't look that good, it just looks like CG, like you're watching CGI. Because again, the vibes I got from this trailer is the same exact vibes I got when I was seeing the Black Adam trailers and shit. I was like, visually and shit, and the powers and shit, it looks dope, but like it just looks like CGI.
But
like,
they got the story there. Like the story's really there.
right, but then like let's be real, sharing the screen with like all these characters and shit is the story. The story really looks like it's not gonna be there in this movie either. I'm just gonna be honest.
No, I'm saying more the backbone of the story, like what puts it in motion. I thought Black Adam's was super weak, while like at least with
Black
Flashpoint,
Adam's is just a weaker story than Flashpoint.
Yeah.
So Flashpoint has like good motivation and stuff, but I'm talking about it sticking the landing. Like I with all these characters and shit, I feel like it's gonna be like it looks like a mess. It's been through production hell. I would be surprised if it was not Satan's child. I'd be surprised if this wasn't like an inbred fucking diseased child from Satan.
Really?
Like,
You think it's gonna be like messy?
I think it's gonna be messy as fuck. I think it's gonna be like World Cup messy. Like it's gonna be that messy. Oh God.
What are we thinking? Like what movie would like Suicide Squad 2016?
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I think it's gonna be on some Quantumania type beat.
Oh, whoa, we're not there yet.
No, we're not. Go ahead, your thoughts.
All right, man. I mean, if that's how you
it's time
feel,
to do the dick riding.
If that's how you feel, let me just say, Warner Brothers has not paid for a Super Bowl trailer in 17 years since V for Vendetta. Okay, number one, that tells me they got some confidence in the movie. They kind of think it's kind of cool.
The movie just costs so much. Yes, we have to market the shit out of this movie because we need people to go watch it. Otherwise,
that too, of course. I don't know. I think that's honestly one of the best DC trailers I've seen. Like, I can't recall a DC trailer off the top of my head that's like, damn, that trailer was colder, other than Suicide Squad. That's it. But that was BBS. How long ago? BBS. I don't think the BBS trailers were that great for me.
BBS was a cultural reset. I could show you a video and niggas dick getting wet. Niggas dick getting wet at Comic-Con watching that trailer, bro. Hey,
I just think
peak cinema.
I don't know. For me, that trailer did everything for me. Like, the visuals were, if you guys saw my reaction, like, I was going crazy over the visual. And let me just say, like, you keep saying, you brought up how, like, every scene with the Flash doing shit, it looks kind of wonky. But, like, to be honest, every, like, action scene besides that very last moment with Supergirl was really, like, short and cut quick. Like, there was a bunch of action scenes, but they were, like, 2 seconds long. And I like that they didn't show us, like, full sequences. Like, even that one shot where, like, Ezra's running across those, like, you know, like, that broken ground or whatever. Like,
it looks like ass.
No, it showed up for, like, 2 seconds and it was gone. So,
and for 2 seconds, it looked like a pack of ass.
I mean, to you, it did. To me, I thought it was it's very vibrant, which I think DC very much needs, especially like the Flash and I'm glad they went with, I wonder if they're going to explain the whole yellow lightning thing or if that's just going to be a retcon. But yeah, this trailer did it for me, man. I mean, you could say the nostalgia, like, I don't have that much of a connection to Keaton. I definitely like him more than like you do, but I wouldn't say like that's what's getting me hype. What's getting me hype is like we have a big budget Flash movie. Like regardless, like we're going to be able to see like more Flash shit on the big screen, and that's just cool to me. Batfleck's coming back.
So then why can't we just have that then? Why do we have to have Bat Keaton and fucking
because
Supergirl?
I think that's the thing is they were in such a unique position. I wonder if this was the plan the whole time, was to make the movie Flashpoint, because
yes,
it was
going to be Thomas Wayne originally, remember,
right,
with Cyborg helping the Flash.
It's poetic. It's perfect at this, like, it's crazy how long this has been in development, but how perfect it is to do Flashpoint. Now you can keep and throw away whatever you don't, and it works perfectly. And it's like it was fucking
No, I mean that's
meant
not
to
really what
be.
happened. They kind of just like replaced air. Like they've always had
Yeah, but they
the
kept some
idea.
too.
Like
That's
no,
what
yeah, they
Flashpoint
kept
did.
some too, but just replaced them in a different way. But like
I don't know. I
it's
thought
it's generally the same thing. Personally, I think the original story sounded better.
I like Zod coming back. I think that's pretty cool, and I wonder how early that stuff is gonna be. Like, is that gonna take place super like when he first enters that universe? Like, because let's be honest, we both know he is not the main villain. He's not the main villain.
Probably not.
No, he's not. It's gonna be Dark Flash. Like the toys leaked.
Also, like, what is like back heat? Like, is back like the thing about Flashpoint that made Flashpoint so cool is like the like not only obviously the character's motivational story, like of what his motivation is and shit, but like the stuff you were seeing, like the Thomas Wayne shit, and then like the payoffs with like other characters like Thomas Wayne and shit. My thing is like, what is Bat Keaton gonna like? Because I don't think he's gonna have the Thomas Wayne role. Like the Thomas Wayne role is so specific to the Flashpoint story. Like
yes,
it's so specific, and it's so like that shit is very it's moving. Like it's a very moving story that Thomas Wayne has. Like, so I wonder like when you take and it's a pretty important part of the Flashpoint story. Like I'd say,
I know
he's the second biggest character in that
oh,
story.
He
like,
is.
Yeah,
he's the first person Barry goes to.
Yeah, so it's like weird. It's like if Batkeaton is to suit that role, how would that even happen? And then, it's probably not gonna be that kind of role. So it's gonna be very, I don't know. It's gonna feel like there's not that push that Flashpoint story has. It's not. I feel like it's gonna be missing in that aspect.
Well, I think like you're trying to look at it as only a Flashpoint adaptation, which I don't think it's doing Flashpoint, but it's not trying to be a one-for-one Flashpoint. It's taking elements to start a new universe and stuff like that, but also like, you know, it's making fans happy to see like it's almost poetic, the fact that like Zod comes back and they're doing the Black Zero event. Like that's almost, it's pretty cool that like that's where we kind of started, and that's kind of where it's finishing.
Bro.
I don't know.
They
for me,
have Zod come back and not Superman, bro. That's a L.
Yeah, we know why. We know.
That's
but
a
for
L.
me, I liked it. I like that we're seeing like Supergirl. It's just it's interesting to me. Everything about it is hitting on like all cylinders. Everything about the movie seems compelling. The story seems compelling. The action compelling. The characters in it compelling. Like everything about it. Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you Man, I'm giving that trailer a fucking 10. Let's move on to this last topic.
You are bouncing on this dick harder than fucking
bro. I'm sorry,
Sarah J, nigga. Like,
I didn't expect the movie to really like be like look that good. It looks raw as fuck, and you gotta be honest. It looks
standards
great. It does. It looks great. All right, I'm giving that trailer a fucking 10. That was a masterpiece of a trailer. The way it was cut, the music, 10? Everything. Hell yeah, that's a top tier trailer. That's top tier. All right, but let's move on to this final topic. And at the time of this recording, we have seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What, 4 days ago? 4 days ago, and yeah, it recently just released, and that's what we are going to be talking about today. And spoilers. We're going to be getting into spoilers. So yeah, that's your warning right now. So if you haven't seen it, if you want to go see it, go ahead and go see it. My suggestion is, me personally, I'd wait till that shit drops on Disney Plus. But if you're really excited for it, I'm not stopping you. Go ahead and see it. Make your own opinion up. But we are going to give ours. Where do you want to start with this thing?
Honestly, if it was up to me, I wouldn't start at all. But it's not up to me. It's windy as hell outside. I'm genuinely scared. But we could start at the We could start with some cast.
Some casts. I thought.
Some cast ass.
I think the cast or Cass.
Oh no, cast like Cassie.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I thought.
Or do you want to go like act by act? Because if we go act by act, I'm grilling this shit the whole time. I'm gonna be real. Yeah.
I think first we should say like, who our standouts, the characters we liked and all that.
There's only one. There's only one. Let's be honest here.
I still liked Scott though. He was like, I still love Paul Rudd in the role. Like, I love him, man.
Scott was at his worst in this movie. Like Scott in any other movie is better.
I mean, he's been good in everything though. That's not saying that's not a low bar. Like,
see, you trying to like open the door, give him a pass when you can get in.
He did amazing.
Like, nah,
what do you mean? He got all like serious.
I mean, he did okay. Like, but like,
I don't know. I think
stand out. Come on, bro. Hell no. Nah.
I thought obviously Jonathan Majors is a standout. I'll talk more about him later though.
Yeah.
I thought Michelle Pfeiffer was also good in this. Like, I really liked her.
Michelle Pfeiffer, her little
and
fucking what is she? She a gill.
Knew you were gonna say it, man. I literally knew you. Yeah, I liked her and Catherine Newton's getting flack right now. Let me just say, yeah, like people are like she cannot act.
Catherine Newton.
Bro, I'm sitting here like
she a baddie.
Let me say this right now, okay? Yes, part of the job is on her to deliver her lines better. But another part of that is for the director to direct their actors better. And I'm going to just say,
True.
Peyton Reed did a very, very mid job at directing his actors in this entire movie. Like, I think he did a poor job at directing his actors. But
like he didn't give a fuck.
We can go through acts, I guess. So let's talk about from like the beginning and them kind of entering the quantum realm and then like meeting these weird people. What were your thoughts there? What's your thoughts on that first act from like the start to them meeting the like rebellions and the weird people, the guy with the holes and all that stuff. What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna be real. When I first saw this shit, because I'm gonna be real, going into this movie, I saw this type of shit coming from like a mile away. I'm looking at the reviews and shit. I'm like, yeah, they about to throw some motherfucking spaghetti at the wall. This shit, they about to throw some fucking dumb shit at me. Like, I was like, yeah. So when this scene came up, I was like, trying my best to like enjoy it. I was trying my best to be okay with it, but no, I wasn't.
Which scene?
The scene when they first like landed in the quantum realm or whatever and met like Bill Murray and the other crew and shit. I was like, number one, Michelle Pfeiffer fucking on Bill Murray. Come on, bro. Like, that's not happening. I don't know if they was like playing or not because it seemed like they was playing, but like, I don't know. Like, she fucked on Kang, but I couldn't see her fucking on Bill Murray. But who knows? She was traveling that quantum realm for a fucking hot minute. So
30 years, bro.
Got wants and needs for sure. But yeah, that shit was like very weird. I was like, Bill Murray cameo. That's about it. Like that's literally all it was. Just a Bill Murray cameo. Like, and then when they met that other crew and shit, I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit? I'm like, bro, like,
drink the goo. Dog. I thought that was kind of neat though. Instead of like, landing in the quantum realm, everyone speaks English. What? I thought it was kind of, it made a little more sense.
That's so goofy though. Like, that shit feels so out of place. Like, what the fuck? Like, the whole fucking ritual going on like out of nowhere. Like, and then once the ritual was done, it's fucking Bob from fucking what's that fucking movie called? Monsters vs. Aliens. Fucking Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens, Pink Bob and shit. Goddamn, like, start talking. I'm like,
Asking
I was
everybody
clenching my.
if they have
I was,
holes, how many
bro.
holes they have.
I'm pretty sure I was clenching my fist. Like I was like, nigga, like really? Like you playing with me, Peyton Reed? Like nigga, I'll beat your ass. Is you playing with me for real? Like, do you think I'm 5 years old, bro? Like, and none of this shit went anywhere. Like this whole rebellion shit, like, shit was so dumb. Like, just a full waste of time. It it felt like once they like it felt like they just completely forgot about those characters like at one point in the movie. Like it felt like they introduced them and then like kicked them out for a bit. It was like, all right, we're back in Atlanta. We just got done shooting in Europe. I know you guys couldn't come with this, but yeah, you guys could come back. We could shoot some scenes. Like it's like so weird, but yeah, that whole part of them meeting him and shit, I was not entertained. There wasn't a lot of good like comedy in it too. Like I wasn't laughing a ton. Like I'm not gonna lie, like bro was like he had 7 holes, and then like Scott paused for like a good 6 seconds counting his holes and shit, and like the audience in the back of me is laughing. I'm like, bro, I'm like Homelander in the theater, like I'm like, bro, really? Like,
so you weren't the biggest fan of it.
No.
I'll start off with like and this goes the same for No Way Home, okay? And I've said this before. I think the setup for No Way Home isn't lazy. It's just not polished. It's not anything great. The setup here is literally the laziest thing like you could think of. It's like
it happens. Really
I just made
too.
this thing.
It happens so fast.
It sends signals to the quantum realm, which I'll talk about that later. By the way, I'll talk about that later. But it just comes out of nowhere. You know, at least with No Way Home, the setup, you know, it was quick, but the actual reason was super valid. Like all the reasons for that happening were really valid in what Peter wanted and everything that was happening. While in Ant-Man, it's like, oh yeah, Cassie just so happened to build this thing because you were down in the quantum realm. And it's like, what is going on? And I mean, I guess she's this genius, but later in the movie, she doesn't really show, like, it would have been cool for her to kind of use that intellect that she has, but I guess not.
She
one
just
thing
wants to be in jail multiple times.
That's one thing I did appreciate was that she you know, she's looking out for the little guy like Ant-Man was doing at first.
Why are we talking about Cassie?
No, I'm talking about the first act.
I'm tripping.
How like she's coming out of jail, and it's because, you know, she's actually trying to do good.
She's a freedom fighter.
She's trying to actually.
I guess that's how they were trying. That's like it seemed like that's how they were trying to connect her to the whole rebellion like side story. Like side
I guess
plot.
I thought
like, trying to have her like
when
lead that charge
when they like dropped when they got sucked in. I thought that looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it looked pretty good. Like when they were all going through the quantum realm and stuff and trying to grab each other. I thought that was
so It looked like so much green screen, bro. I was.
Oh, my bad. They didn't get sucked into a real quantum realm on camera. My bad.
That's on them.
No, it looked good. I thought it was pretty interesting. But
no, it was entertaining to watch. Like that was cool to see. But like while watching it, I was like, damn.
And then, so they get into this world, right?
They would have been better off doing a lot of shots of CGI models going through a quantum realm. Like
I do agree.
And then some real shots.
Yeah. Well, I think they definitely did do that.
No, they didn't. It was like all like just straight
close
green
up
screen work, and I was like, bro, floating in the middle of a screen.
But yeah, they land right, and then like, so here's the part I was confused on. So Hank, Janet, and Hope, right? They land separately than Cassie and Scott.
Yeah, why did that happen?
Well, they just drifted off. But one thing I will say is like, I would have much preferred them all to like drop together and do this quest, but like they had to separate them. and that way Cassie could, get captured, and that way Scott or Kang
There would
could
have
do
been a
something
better
for
story
Scott.
there of them trying to like get back to each other. Like,
Yeah, but I guess they wanted to
it
separate
was said
them.
one time, like, we gotta find him, but then like that's about it. Like they just started doing a lot of side quests as they went to go find each other, and then once they did, it felt like that fucking Jurassic World Dominion scene when like the old gen characters met up with the new gen characters at like random chance, like by plot luck, by plot. Like that's what it felt like once they like met together. Like it felt a lot like some plot luck. Like it was very odd.
What was I gonna bring up? You keep interrupting me. Stop interrupting me.
I could do whatever the fuck I want.
You keep interrupting me, and I'm losing my train of thought. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I wonder. So, like, everyone down here in the quantum realm looks different. So why did Janet and them need to put on disguises?
Probably because like they knew about her back when she was Wasp, but she wasn't Wasp in the quantum realm though. So I don't know.
That was a little bit confusing, but then
probably to like fit in.
Yeah, maybe. But that's still weird because like everyone looks different. So like, what is fitting in? Like you've got the dude that shoots light beams out of his face, and you've got the rebellion girl, and like you've got all these people that look different. Or even when they went to the restaurant, you got like that dude that looks like he's wrapped in mummy tape, and you've got like Bill Murray's character, which apparently isn't human, but like he looks human. It's weird. It's all weird. It didn't really make sense. But then, right after, in the midst of all this stuff, we get some flashbacks with Janet and Kang, which I'm not gonna lie, I thought all these flashbacks were pretty cool. Like all of them were good. Every single one of them, especially that second one, which we're gonna talk about, which is like the second act of the movie, which I think it shines. I think the second act of the movie is the best act of the movie. We spend a lot more time with like learning about Kang. And like Kang being this menacing, serious person, but more importantly, we get this like flashback of Janet finally like fixing the chair for Kang, and then like this interesting conversation and exchange between them where she touches his chair because it's connected to his mind, and she sees like everything he's gonna do, right? She sees everything he's going to do.
No, I think that was everything he did do.
No, it was everything he was going to do, because then later on in the film, he does one of the things that was shown. Remember where he's like shooting everyone with his beams or whatever? He does that in the third act. So it's like showing his plans. I'm pretty sure it showed the past and present. Probably like everything.
That's very like plot.
Yeah, but I thought
it's gonna show you exactly what he's gonna do like in in the next hour.
Well, it didn't show it like everything. It showed I want to say showed his past too, like everything. But it was really this interesting exchange when Janet finds out, and like she confronts him about it, and he's like, okay, don't mind that. I'll take you home. Your world will be safe. And like when Jonathan Major said that, I was like, oh, this man is set on his goals. Like the fact that he was so nonchalant, and he was like, don't worry about that. I'll take you home. Don't worry. Your world will be safe. Like, so you just finna kill like trillions? Oh, like, and I thought that was great. And this is also like, I'm not gonna lie, that introduction, man, of him putting the suit on was so sick. It was actually so dope. When like what did she do? I think like she said something negative about him, and he just like he took off in the chair and stood up, and like the circles were forming around him, putting on his costume, and like the camera's closing up. I thought it was great. The music, it was really cool. But I think the reason why this second act shines, Cassie ends up going to jail or gets scooped up. Cassie and Scott get scooped up by Kang in this second act. And Kang's like, you gotta do something for me, man. Listen, you're an expert thief. You're an expert, a criminal. You can get stuff, right? So I need you to
don't fucking need Scott.
Right.
I don't fucking need you.
Which is also something that confused me was, so the Pym particles are what Janet used to destroy the like chair, right?
Right.
She like enlarged it and it broke.
Yeah.
But then when Kang sends Scott on the mission, they just make it small. So like, why doesn't making the orb or whatever they put in the, what do you call it? The orb that he put in the time chair?
Yeah.
Why is them making it small? Why does that not break it, but them making it big does? That, I don't know. That didn't make much sense to me. But he sends Scott on this mission, right? And this is where we get like why they had to separate Scott and Cassie from the rest of the crew is, you know, Scott's got to have a motivation, or Kang's got to have a motivation or a connection to Scott. And this connection is, you go and get me the orb. It's in a very dangerous place, but if you do it, your daughter will be set free. And Scott goes and does it, and we get like the weirdest scene where
I'm not gonna lie, bro. There was one part in that scene where I just saw it and I couldn't contain my laughter. Like I was like, I have to laugh. Like this. So
this scene happens, and let me just say before this, I loved like just Jonathan Majors' presence in that prison.
Bro, after the movie ended, everybody was saying I look like Jonathan Majors.
Okay, bro. But so Cassie's in jail and he frees Scott. He's like, I'll let your daughter out. But we get this conversation where Jonathan Majors just fucking kills it. He is like doing this serious, nuanced performance where he looks emotionless, talking about the most hard shit, where he's like, yeah, dusted that guy with the fucking hammer that shoots lightning and shit. Yeah, he was gone. He messed with me. Right?
You Thor? You that guy? I don't know.
That guy.
These days are like a blood to me. I'm fucking
exactly. Know. He's like, it's all combined. It's all a blur. It's all a, you know. He talks just like that too in the movie. But I thought that was, to me, that's the best scene in the movie. That entire conversation where he's just like looking at him like,
actually had the nipples hard.
And then he said something like, "You out of your league, Ant-Man." And I was like, "Oh my, this script is." I was like, "This script is corny," but he elevated what's on paper right now. Oh my god,
like, damn nigga, that shit kind of made me feel some type of way.
That's crazy. But then, in the middle of this, we get the introduction of MODOK,
the greatest.
And no, not here time. Actually. No, he's introduced when the rebellions are getting like attacked, right? Is that when he's introduced? Isn't that when he's like fucking shit up over there? He's like laser and everything, and then he's like happy to you surprised to see me, Scott, or whatever. I don't know. Whenever he's introduced,
surprised to see me.
I'm sorry.
Nigga like a G.
Dude,
he looked
the second he was on screen, I lost it. Listen, as poor, like I know MODOK is he's wild. You know, he's a wild, goofy looking character. I think they lean into that too much for sure, but he's one of the highlights because he was just so fucking entertaining. And every time he was on screen, I could not help but laugh. He didn't have to say anything. The CG was just so weird. And his face was so weird. Everything about it. It looked off to the point where like it did have that uncanny valley. I was bringing it up to my brother while we were watching this. I was like, he's got dead eyes. He's got the dead eyes effect where he doesn't look like he's looking at something, but like he's staring into oblivion, like nothingness. He has those like eyes when you're dead. And I just could
You
not.
look like Mr. Electricity died and shit.
I literally couldn't control myself. Every time he
Bro.
showed up, I just could not. And it's this like he comes in the prison and Kang just flings him with his finger. That was kind of raw. He just like does a little finger, like the smallest wave of his finger, and just sends him and starts crushing him. I thought that was pretty cool. But fast forward, Scott goes and tries to retrieve this orb, right? He tries to retrieve this orb. And it's a possibility hex or whatever they said, right? Meaning it's the possibilities of you, right? And Scott has a tough time. We get
I felt
basket.
like this was actually a pretty decent scene.
Yeah, I liked it until it started not making any sense because
Yeah, it started making.
we
like,
catch
it started
up
being some
with
bullshit.
Janet and Hank and Hope. And they, managed to flee the ship or whatever, and that's when they were on their way to Scott. And they finally get there, and then they send Wasp to help him, right, with the orb.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, Ant-Man uses all his Ant-Mans like a colony of ants. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they help him up, right, because they all have one goal. They all love one thing in every universe and every possibility, and it's Cassie, right? And so... they build this colony, and he throws like pin particles at it to make it smaller, and they just get fried, right? They just literally get fried. Boom, Wasp comes to save the day. But she comes in, and there's like versions of her that are like coming out, but like they're not doing anything. They're just like coming off of her, not doing anything. But when Scott walked in there, they're sitting there touching him, pulling him. Bro, I'm saying, like, she just starts going in, and it's just like random wasps behind her. I don't know. Maybe if you don't look at it or concentrate on the other wasps, they don't matter. I don't know. Some bullshit. But she comes in, and then she throws, I guess, more pin particles, and that's what. But like, Scott's already fried. Why do they work now? I'll tell you why. Plot needs to move forward.
I guess it was because it was just more of them.
But like, what does that do if it destroyed one? Like, you're telling me not one can get destroyed when you throw multiple? Like, I don't know. They make it small. But then this third act happens. Okay, up until this point, I thought the movie.
Wait, before we move to the third act, though, I do want to say that in that scene, fucking. Can you guess which like part made me laugh?
The most?
This part in that scene made me laugh the most out of any fucking part in that.
Was it the Baskin Robbins, Scott?
No, but that shit was so fucking funny though. I was like,
got no powers, dog.
I was like, this is so fucking
I'm trying
dumb,
to think.
bro.
Oh, what made you laugh the most?
Dude, it was when bro was like, we're all gonna die.
Wait,
Bro,
what?
The way it built up to that scene, like with all of them going crazy and shit.
Oh yeah,
and, like shit
yeah.
was about to happen. And they just pause and look. And he's just like, "We're all gonna die." Like it looked so dumb. Like bro, it made me laugh so fucking hard because of how fucking stupid that it looked. Like, dude, I was.
That's a lot of
that
this
shit.
movie, but
Dude, yeah, it is.
So then we get into this third act, right? Where like things are revealed of Kang's plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the rebels finally get there, right? Because they decide to march. And this is some shit. I told him in the theater, this is some shit straight out of Ready Player One, number one. All right, straight out of Ready Player One. But okay, right? The rebels come. Cassie brings them. And I love how, like, Kang is this ultra-secured person, but, like, by the way, to unlock the jails, you just got to smash one of their heads on the fucking thing.
I was
Sure.
like...
And then
bro,
the girl that they
saw
tried
that
to,
shit
like...
and again, I was like, Peyton Reed, how fucking
No, that's on the
stupid do
writers.
you
That's on
think
the
I
writers.
am?
That's on the writers.
Like, how dumb
that's
do
definitely
you
on
think
the
I
writers.
am, nigga? Like, I'll beat your ass, bro. The fuck?
But, and then out of nowhere, the rebellion girl that got her home destroyed or whatever, she just knows the password now, like actually knows it. I don't know how, but she now can like actually unlock people.
Oh, yeah.
Like she
Bro,
just knows the password
like-
now. Okay.
I was like,
Sure.
oh, okay.
By the way, they tried to make us care about that character, and boy did they fail. Oh my goodness. They're like, my home was destroyed, and that's about it. That's about all they gave us to connect to her character. Yeah, trash. I don't know what that was. There was like a 5-minute scene that they tried to make us relate.
Fucking garbage sauce.
And then obviously I've complained about this on Twitter, but they wasted
That
William
character
Jackson
felt
Harper.
like the little boy following Black Adam around.
They wasted William Jackson Harper, turning him into fucking Quaz.
Oh my God.
And it's just
Turned
that
into the lamest nigga on this planet.
pissed me
bro.
off. My bad. I just hit my mic. That pissed me off so much because, like, his character wasn't even useful, really. What did he do? Just read Scott's mind and was like, oh, he's going here. Like, his character didn't really push anything. Like, by the end of the movie, like, he didn't do anything. And I thought that was such a waste of such a talented actor. But regardless, we're talking about this third act, right? The third act happens. And then this is where the movie just
shits the bed.
It started crumbling
This is when
a
the movie
lot
just,
for me. Like
what's his name in the menu cooking? Bro. Oh,
fucking
God.
Nicholas Holt's character.
Dog.
Don't let
This
him
was what's his name? Jericho Sims in the dunk contest. Yeah, that third act was that nigga, bro.
I could not believe, like, Cassie's getting big, but like in Ant-Man the Wasp, when Scott got big, like, he passed out. But like Cassie with no experience, I guess, just goes big in this third act. And yeah, she's hungry, but like she doesn't get tired or anything. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're in the quantum realm, so they're technically not big. I have no clue what the fuck is going on. But Kang comes down, right? He's like, oh, you're fucking with my army? Huh? You want to fuck with my army? Which, by the way, Kang, you got to step up your security, dog. These army dudes get tossed in like one hit.
They fucking suck.
Okay,
they're
these
worse
are
than the fucking inner gang from Black Adam.
Yeah, these are NPCs, truly
shit.
NPCs. Like,
this
rebellion girl's like just hitting them once with a stick, and they're just poofing.
Bro.
And it's like, what are you doing?
Again, that whole scene really does feel like Black Adam. Let's take all these random motherfuckers and have them fight these demon spawned skeletons from hell.
It really, and then
feels
what?
Like that right there, bro.
Oh man, what just turned me so off about it is like the minute I saw like Kang release the army and like these ships are like all going, it's like, what did this?
I'm supposed to feel something.
Not
bro.
even that. Just like, what did this franchise become? Because this does not feel like an Ant-Man movie right now.
Shit, feel like I'm watching Star Wars.
It feels so odd and out of place. And I think I talked about this on Twitter. And the reason why is that those first two acts were weird. They were set in a weird place, but they were also weird. Like, they were meeting new people and like doing unnatural things. Yeah. But then in this act, we're still in this weird place, which, by the way, doesn't look like the same place at all anymore. I even tweeted out, I tweet out pictures. I'm like, these are supposed to be the same place. Like, it doesn't even look like the same place in that third act. So it's this weird place we're in, but instead of the movie being weird now, it went to like Epic and Endgame in a weird place. And so it felt so out of place. Anyways, we get this third act. And then right before this third act, we're like introduced that like the ants were signaling Hank.
Oh yeah.
This whole time. And yeah, I thought that was gonna lead somewhere, but I didn't expect it to be as stupid as I thought it was gonna be. Like, oh, he found the ants, right? He found them. No, actually, what happened was
it was
when
like
we
needed you guys in the third act.
Yeah,
not the second or first, but this third one right when this is going on.
Like, right. So when they fell down into the quantum realm, right? These ants moved just a little bit to the right, just a tad bit to the right and left, just a little bit. And somehow that makes them go into an entirely different like world where they advanced thousands of years, which it's like, number one, if they advanced thousands of years, I'm sure they would have forgot fucking Hank. But I guess not. But then on top of that, if they're moving over to the side and this is all happening, when Scott and Cassie were split up from Hank, Janet, and Hope, why didn't that happen with them? Like, they were very split up. So, like, what happened? The ants just move a little bit to the right and they're in a whole new world. But when Scott and Cassie do it, they're like still in. It didn't make any sense. And then, so now we need the ants, right? They advance thousands and thousands. Yeah. So they're highly intelligent beings. Very. Okay, so this is how they apparently support the fact that ants are going to beat Kang in this movie. Okay, the ants are going to beat Kang. Yeah, that's where we're at. Where this Kang Dynasty.
I'm not wearing my fucking Kang shirt.
Kang Dynasty,
this little pussy ass motherfucker gets defeated by some fucking ants.
By some ants, and I thought this is where they really started.
I step on fucking ants every fucking day.
Exactly. This is where the character started. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was the highlight of this movie.
Yes.
But in that second act, he's so nuanced, like serious.
Make no mistake, the third act just says.
But the third act,
take this shit. Let me eat it. Let me shit it out into a fucking toilet and flush it down into the goddamn.
Yeah, it's just it's this different character who's like now going wild and is like you know what? I'm gonna come down and shoot everyone.
Like a little fucking child. Like
dude, right. It's weird. Like he's fucking.
I'm Kang. You can't have this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Kang. And it's like, that's not what you were doing.
Nigga, you're not.
Like, imagine how hard it would have been if Kang, like, came down, like, with the most serious face and he's just destroying people. Like, nothing. Like, throwing people.
On some, like, dark side shit. Hands behind his back.
I guess.
Type shit.
On just like throwing people to the side. Splitting people with just the toss of his finger and shit. But no, he comes down, right? He comes down and starts shooting his beams, right? But then he, like, stops and he starts just shooting them in, like, intervals. So he stops the whole, right? Which he was mowing people with. But I guess you stop. He starts
Iron Man and he's like,
yeah, then he's like, and it's like, are you playing? Like, you playing with your food? Because, like, if you think these guys aren't tough, then why'd you come down in the first place? And it's like,
exactly,
it's weird. But then, before he's defeated, we get this is probably the best moment of the movie, because the movie was just so underwhelming.
Very.
So MODOK. So MODOK, the mechanized organism designed only for killing. Remember, he's a fucking killer.
This man is one of the most dangerous men
absolutely
that there has ever been in fiction.
Right. But then he can't beat up Cassie, which has no fighting experience.
I don't think I saw him kill a single fucking person.
No, he definitely fucked up people when he, like, destroyed that rebellion.
But I didn't see him, like,
no,
I didn't see.
Yeah, you're right.
Die,
you're
right.
What
I mean, like,
I just thought it was weak that this girl that does not know how to fight, Cassie, or she just learned how to fight by Scott. They're like jump tap, which we get the funniest CGI. With Cassie running, but I've already talked about
like a motherfucker, bro.
But yeah,
on, man. How
she
you
like
let your movie look like this, bro?
MODOK is chasing her. Can't hit a single fucking laser on her, by the way.
Can't do shit.
He kills a lot of people though. Remember, he's this fierce, mechanized organism. But
that nigga's nah.
Cassie then goes big and just socks him right in his fucking mouth, right? That shit was funny, I'm not gonna lie. Just socks him in his mouth. And then we get this scene.
We get arguably the greatest
piece of cinema in
redemption
history.
Arc, or like
Right. One of the greatest developments in character.
Some moving shit. Like,
and it's MODOK sitting there.
It's dick.
It is.
It's dick.
MODOK is sitting there, just like, oh man, what am I doing? I failed. And then Cassie's like, or no, what does he tell her? what does he say before she tells him to not be a dick? I don't know. But she's like, just don't be a dick, right? And then he's like, but look at me. I'm a dick, right?
He do look like a fucking dick.
He does. And then, yeah, and then we get MODOK running at Kang soon after. And he's like, I'm not a dick. My name is Darren, right? Which is, this shit is actually in the, I'm not making this shit up. Like, this shit was written in the script. It was on paper. like for real. And so he blows up Kang's.
Bro, this shit is so fucking dumb, bro. Like,
blows up
fuck,
Kang's orb that he was
fucking
making.
5-year-old wrote this fucking movie, bro.
Because Kang was getting fucked up by some ants, so he makes this orb, right? This shield around him, this force field, and Darren blows it up, right? But with that, he dies. Okay, so the ants start fucking ripping through Kang's technology and all this, right? Cool.
They biting through that motherfucker.
Right. Sick. But then we get MODOK's death, right? Which she's like, glad I died in Avenger. This shit was actually kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually kind of funny. He was like,
these are some good lines.
Thankfully, I died in Avenger. And Scott's like, you're in. You're in. Yeah, you're part of the team. Hopefully he comes back and looks more like MODOK or something, because as much as I did not like this assassination of a character, he was one of the few characters that was entertaining. Every time he was on screen, my eyes were glued onto the screen. Maybe not for the best reasons, but they were glued onto the screen. And then Kang's technology is all fucked up. They put the orb in. And they're ready to go back home, right? But then before they go back, which, by the way they go back home is they used the signal thing that Cassie built at the beginning of the movie to send signals down to the quantum realm, right?
Yep.
Never in the movie was it explained that it can make portals, but I guess it can now, because plot. So they put the orb in, and they're like, yeah, this thing can also make portals.
Shit is like a fucking like a time machine, damn
It's literally, there's so many MacGuffins in this fucking movie. I couldn't stand it. But yeah, it's a MacGuffin. It's another fucking MacGuffin with the plethora of MacGuffins. With the password MacGuffin, with the fucking orb and Pimtech MacGuffin, with the fucking there's I talked about it.
Let's be real, they wrote this movie in like a week.
Bro, but anyways, the portal happens, right? They go home, but Scott is still there, right? Then we get this fight. This shit was the best fight of the movie. I thought the action in this movie was so ass. It was so underwhelming. Like, it was so underwhelming.
Oh my god, bro!
But this scene was pretty cool. Some good hand-to-hand combat with Jonathan Majors. One of his biceps just out. I was like, choke me with. Anyways, so Jonathan Majors
says, I want to bite that motherfucker,
bro. Just take a fucking off that bitch. You feel me? But him and Scott have this little battle, right? Which Scott is losing so bad in this shit. Like, Scott,
his ass
but he's landing punches, you know.
Hey, you know what would have been so funny though, when he got back up and he was like, I could do this all day. That shit would have been so funny, because he's like this Captain America. I was like, I was kind of like,
yeah, low key. That would have been pretty cool.
I was kind of like, why did they not fucking like? Because I was kind of expecting it when he got up like that. I was kind of expecting it. I was like, he's gonna.
Yeah, he's like, he gives the whole line that he gives in the trailer where he's like, I don't have to lose, or I don't have to win. We both just have to lose, right? And then he just kills Kang. Well, we don't know if he's dead, but I assume, maybe he's in a different realm, maybe. But
who knows at this point?
Kang just lost to Ant-Man. Here's the problem. From the jump, I think this was a recipe for a disaster, because you're having
Kang as an Ant-Man villain.
Yes, you're having like our big bad against Ant-Man. So off the jump, you're nerfing Kang. Like, you're bringing him down. But then on top of that, right? Kang is possessed as is like seen as this threat. But what I wanted was, I said this before, I said someone has to bite it out of the main cast. Hank, Janet, Hope, or Scott. Cassie obviously won't. So I was like, one of them has to. Well, none of them die. So Kang failed his mission, and he obviously isn't the biggest threat. But not only that, but Ant-Man beats him. Ant-Man and Hope, they'll kick him into the quantum realm or wherever he got sent, or if he died, we don't know. And it's like, if Ant-Man and Wasp can beat him, why do the Avengers? Why is this a threat to the Avengers? Maybe it's because in Kang Dynasty, and I hope, maybe they're fighting like a bunch of Kangs, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
Obviously they're gonna try to pass it off as like, okay, we threw this Kang away.
So
like, this ain't the same Kang.
This movie comes to its closing ending, right? Which is a narration, which, by the way, I think Peyton Reed just came out saying why Luis wasn't in the movie, saying he just didn't feel like he like fit. And I do agree, like, you know, this movie's a lot big and weird, but like, you started the movie and ended it with a narration that couldn't come. Like, Luis is right there. Luis is perfect. He's right there, but I guess not. So Scott ends this movie, and like, I don't know, like, are they in the same universe? Are they even like, what's time? Because they didn't know how time was, because time works in different parts of the quantum realm. So like, where are they now? They could be in the present, or they could be 10 years in the future. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I'm wondering what's going on. And we are seeing weird things, like a dog is in a stroller, right? And it's like, are these normal things, or are they genuinely in a different universe, or like in a different time?
I was like, nigga, are they still in the fucking quantum realm?
Yeah, they didn't make this very, very clear. So they go and celebrate Cassie's fake birthday, right? Which I thought was cute or whatever. But then, like, and I told this immediately after it ended, the move, like, Scott eats ice cream or whatever it is that he ate from the birthday, right? And he makes this weird face, like something's up with this ice cream or whatever. And the movie ends. Like, it ends. But before this, like, I do like the, I do like the second guessing though. Like, that happens in this ending when Scott's like, yeah, we beat Kang. But
that
did we? I did like it felt ominous and eerie. Like, I loved it.
It felt very eerie. I was like,
damn, did we get rid of this nigga?
This felt like when in the Ant-Man and the Wasp post-credit scene when
when they got dusted.
When they got dusted. Like, that's
it was very ominous. But the movie ends in this like abrupt, weird way. I don't know what to think of that ending. But then we get to this mid-credit scene. Okay, let me just
mid-credit scene. Emphasis on the fucking mid.
Let me just say, a lot of people were hyping this up, and I didn't know what it was. I knew what it was, but I didn't see it, right? So I was excited to see this. Council of Kangs? Oh, sign me up. Sign me up.
I was like, bro.
Let me say, the idea on paper is dope.
Yes.
It is so
like,
sick.
Seeing it, knowing what it is.
But
it's dope.
Let me just say, the execution, this is what I mean. And someone tried to tell me
abysmal.
Peyton Reed is this profound director, and I'm sitting here telling him, like, he has never elevated what's on paper. And they're like, what about the Mandalorian season 2 finale? I'm like, he did not elevate anything that was on paper. Luke came back, and like that shit was already good. Right, it was already good. He just proves that he does not know how to elevate anything on paper. So we get this Council of Kangs, and the execution here was abysmal. And I think the reason, like, I think some of these should have been full CG for sure. I think seeing like 3 Jonathan Majors, listen, he's talented, but I think this is asking too much. Like, no one can do this. Like, this is asking too much from an actor. Like, play these 3 different roles.
But what's crazy is it's really not. It's just the execution. But like, we've seen characters play each other and like
but I'd say
like interact with each other before. The thing is, the execution is so bad. Like, it looks so green screen. They're not interacting with each other, just around each other talking. Like, the execution just wasn't there. Like, nothing was fucking tangible about that.
That was my point. Was the reason why seeing this version of Kang was so cool is because we see He Who Remains in Loki, right? And remember, that Jonathan Majors is playing a certain type, and then we get this, and then he has the time to train, or to embody the character of Kang, right, in this movie. And he does do that. But I feel like in this mid-credit scene, this man probably had like 5 minutes to prepare for all these roles. Like, like you said, there's nothing to grasp onto because they like come into the scene, but none of them are touching each other. And then we get this like scene of the Coliseum, right, within the Council of Kings. And like the Kings popping up, but they're all like popping up in separate areas. So it just, and like, and it's like none of them are bumping into each other. Like that could have made it feel tangible. And that's why I think that final shot of like the actual crowd, that was the best part. And it's because, it's because they were all really close to each other and like interacting with each other. Yeah. That's why that was I just thought like, sure, this got me hyped up, especially like, let's say all these variants fight the Avengers. That would be sick. Like, I was like, don't give me like, you know what would be so cool if like in Kang Dynasty, like the Avengers are like fighting Kangs, right? And they're getting just thrashing Kangs, but they keep on coming. Like Falcon or Captain America, the new Captain America kills Rama-Tut, but then a portal comes out and it's a new Rama-Tut, and it's like that type of shit. Like that's pretty cool. But yeah, the mid credit scene was pretty mid, and then the post credit scene is just an advertisement for Disney Plus. To be honest, I liked it.
The post credit scene was pretty.
Don't get me wrong, I was hyped to see Mobius and Loki, but
I was like,
it was pretty interesting though. Loki's like Mobius is like, this is the guy you're scared of, and Loki just has this face, and he's like, that's him, and I like that. I did like that. I just thought like these credit scenes were set up pretty whack overall. Like, this movie was so underwhelming. And I did have my expectations, like, on the bar was on the floor. I'm not going to lie. Like, they were low because you know how I felt about going into this. I was really, both of us were really only excited for Kang. Yeah. And me knowing how the previous Ant-Man movies were and why the first one was so good and, like, all this stuff, just, like, I knew what I was going to get. Like, I think a lot of people expected this insane level of a movie, but for me, I was like, hey, Peyton Reed's directing it. I was telling people back in July, like, did y'all forget who's directing this movie? Or, like, because the Russos aren't. John Watts isn't. Ryan Coogler isn't. James Gunn isn't.
Damn show ain't.
Edgar Wright definitely isn't. And it's like, I don't know. Overall, like, I think one of the weaker parts in this movie that surprised me, because a lot of people talked about it, and so I was like, okay, was Cassie and Scott's relationship. I thought it was pretty weak. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I did enjoy their time, especially when Cassie was like,
it wasn't believable.
Yeah, it did feel like they lost some time. Like, I feel like
they did have some decent like chemistry and shit, like, but it didn't feel believable. Like, it felt like a very just random grown-up Cassie. Like,
yeah, I think the moments they had were pretty cool though. Like when she's like you know what he's all famous for writing a book, and she's like, what happened to looking out for the little guy and stuff. And I do like those conversations, how she's doing exactly what, you know, that is the kind of charm that I do like, that, you know, from that, in that first Ant-Man movie, what happens, like, you know, Yellow Jacket and Ant-Man are fighting in her bedroom, and that's what made her want to be a hero, was seeing her dad be one. And I do like that. That first movie has so much charm. I do like the things that they connect to it. I do think it helps, like, you know, build out this family, this kind of franchise, this little portion of the MCU. But I thought a lot of stuff, like, I expected more from them too, man. Like, that's what the movie revolved
especially if they're gonna shove her to the front of the movie. Like it'd be one thing if she was like more of a background character, because then, like, you get away with that kind of shit because it's like, okay, she wasn't like a main aspect of the movie. But like when you shove her into the front of the movie, like, you need to do a better job of establishing that dynamic, that relationship and shit like that, bro.
Yeah, I agree. I thought she delivered some of her lines kind of odd. I think sure, like, there were moments where, like, specifically I remember one where it was in the third act where they opened up the portals, and it was her, Hank, and Janet that were in, but Hope and Scott weren't. They were still in the quantum realm or whatever. Yeah. And like the portal's closing, she's like, Dad, but like, you might not ever see him again. Like, I feel like, yeah, Catherine Newton could have delivered that better, but it's Peyton Reed's job to be like, no, we're retaking this. You got to act like you're going to lose your dad forever. And it's like, you got to, come on, man. You got to direct your actors better. I don't know. I thought the movie overall, like, it was fun to look at, I guess. But, like, some of the stuff just kind of took me out of it, or wasn't as great as I wanted it to. I thought, man, Kang was kind of done dirty. I thought he was obviously the highlight, but I mean,
I said that right after the movie ended. I said they did Kang dirty.
Yeah, like, I mean, you're gonna have to do a lot more for me to like be like, oh, this is that Avengers threat, or at least we're gonna have to hear more about what Kang Dynasty is. But overall, like, I'd say it was okay. Like, it wasn't terrible, but it was not good to me. It was like, okay, like, it was like that. If you had to grade this out of on a scale of 1 through 10, what would you give it and why?
Out of 1 through 10, say like a 6.3.
Why is that?
And mainly because 5 is like my average point. I think the average movie is,
like, what would you say an average comic book movie is?
Like, an average comic movie would be like a Black Adam, or like a fucking
okay.
I don't know, like
an Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, or like a Birds of Prey.
I've never seen that movie.
No, but like from the reception it's gotten, it's
probably
great. Accurate.
It's great.
It's probably like pretty average.
It's way better than Black Adam. Much better than Black Adam.
But yeah, I'm giving it a 6.3 because it's just above that. Like, I'm not going near the 6.5. I'm not even looking at the 7 range.
That shit's not even visible. Like,
yeah, no, I can't even see that shit. But yeah, I feel like 6.3 is the final score. There were some things that they just, it's not even about like not being able to hit it home. It's just about doing it bad. Like, there's one thing when like you're not doing Kang good enough. Like, you're not doing a good enough Kang adaptation, but it's another when you're doing a bad Kang adaptation. Like, and they just did a lot of bad shit in here. Like, some cardinal sins, some comic book movie cardinal sins that niggas have been complaining about since fucking Ryan Reynolds donned an animated Green Lantern suit. Like, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
It's some shit in this movie that just did not need to be there, and some shit that just like needed to be there. So, yeah, I'll give it a 6.3. Peyton Reed should not touch another fucking comic movie again.
I think he should,
in my opinion, he shouldn't touch another movie again. Probably move on to like.
No, he's made like Yes Man. Come on now. I think he can do some good things, but I think there's no reason for Marvel to put him on any project. I wouldn't put him on Ant-Man 4. I wouldn't. I damn sure. Like people were genuinely
pissed me off.
People were like, "Yo, Peyton Reed for Secret Wars."
The writers, but
that was hilarious. A lot of people were looking at Peyton Reed, or were thinking Peyton Reed's gonna do Secret Wars. I'm like, he better not. And
I mean, oh, never mind. Yeah, no.
The reception. Definitely, he definitely won't do Secret Wars. And I did hear some like scoopers say like Marvel's delaying stuff. I think Secret Wars might be one of those because they probably did pick Peyton Reed, and they probably looked at the reception of this and was like, "We gonna need somebody else." I've said time and time again, I think John Watts is a perfect choice. He doesn't have the most visual style, of course, but I mean, you know, he's handled the multiversal plot. He's delivered on it. Pleased audiences. He's 3 for 3 when it comes to villains. He just knows how to handle the dynamic, but like with drama and comedy. No, bro, I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real, man. No way home, Homecoming, and Far From Home. He really handles the drama.
Get a Russo brother up in there.
Oh no, if the Russos were an option, obviously that would be my first choice.
Get them up in
but
there.
My second would be
Ryan Coogler up in there.
I like Ryan Coogler, but he just does not have experience with like the multiversal stuff, and I don't.
You get Ryan Coogler.
I don't know. I don't know. Ryan Coogler would do some cool ass shit though. Like he would. I think he would make Kang hella raw, like super fucking raw. But Yeah, I'm gonna give this like a flat 6. I think this isn't like 5. Like, to me, a 5 movie is like Daredevil 2003. Like, that's like literally average. It's not complete garbage, but it is nowhere near good. Like, it's just like, and like, I think it hits that 6 range, but like, it doesn't. I'll go to a 6.2. I'll go to a 6.2 because it does have, like, you know, the spectacle and stuff. It does. I thought the movie, though, like, one thing I will say is, you know, I like the music of the movie.
The 0.3 is because, like, I probably would have gave it a 6.2, but the 0.3 is because
the scale, the actors, the cast, the
No, it's because the popcorn, the popcorn.
But
the slushy was shit.
Yeah, I thought the music was pretty good in the movie, though. I thought the music was it was a lot better than I expected. I thought it was gonna be garbage, and
King's
then
theme had my dick rising. Like,
King's
a little
theme was
bit,
fire, and then
a little bit. My booty hairs were tingling.
I said this: the CG was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. The trailer CG
could have been better.
No, for sure, but I thought the CG in the trailers were abysmal. There was some bad compositing, but in here they definitely fixed it. Like, they fixed a lot of the compositing. I just thought my biggest issue with, like, their use of not the volume, but more the quantum. So I think Nando brought this up in one of his videos, but the quantum realm, right? It's like weird looking and like cool looking, but it's like dark. It's like super dark, and it's these like it's not just shadow, like black. It's these muted colors.
Yeah.
You're like cut in the camera, by the way. It's these like muted. Oh. You gotta lean back. It's these like muted colors, but what that ends up doing is it looks so shit on screen because there's not
like dog water
a lot of lighting, because this world it's like a roof. I think Nando said that it's like a roof was over the world, and it's like everything is in a shadow.
Yeah.
And it's just like their suits are muted colors too, so they're like blending in with the background half the time. I thought the Quantum Realm like design wise was cool, but man, they got to do more with those. With like, they should have made it more colorful, more bright and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it a 6.2. I guess. Like, I enjoyed some scenes. I mean, I laughed my ass off every time MODOK came on screen. And
Bro,
Kang,
like a fucking kneecap.
Kang definitely stole the show and was a presence. But overall, this is easily like the worst of the franchise, of the Ant-Man franchise.
It's a way to start at Phase 5 for sure.
Yeah, it looks like James Gunn is going to have to revive Marvel and DC, I guess. But yeah, guys, that was our review for Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And you guys tell us in the comments below what you guys thought about the movie. If you enjoyed it, you know, tell me about it, because I really love hearing.
Honestly, if you enjoyed it, keep that shit to yourself. I do not want to hear that shit.
I'll read your comments, at least. I will, because I do like discussing people with people on their different perspectives on the movie and how they took it. I just think there was too many like conveniences in the plot. It was a bit messy at the end, and just didn't feel like it didn't capture that charm that first movie, and even some of the second movie has.
Yeah, even some of the second one
didn't capture it. So he's giving it a 6.3. I'm gonna give it a 6.2. But yeah, guys, you guys can follow us on our socials right there, right below our screen. And yeah, if you guys ever have any questions that we answer on the podcast, we will bring them up on the podcast.
Yep.
Donate on that link right there. If you guys can donate a question, we will bring it up on the podcast. I want all the
too. If y'all got some smoke for me down there in the comment section, like dead ass reply with some shit, I will smoke your ass in the next podcast episode, bro. Dead ass.
All right.
I'll smoke that ass.
All right, you guys. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, though. It helps us get the channel around. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you like this type of content. All the social links are in the description. But yeah, guys, it's a double feature. It's me, boy Kezzy.
KJ.
Signing out. Peace.